We're going to make an animation using Glaxnimate. The idea here is to have an animation showing the drone route of a flight over Oslo, Norway. So I'm going to need a map, I'm going to need a path, which is going to show the flight, and maybe a picture of a drone, just a PNG file or a JPEG. So you can use this website, Snazzy Maps. This website's very cool. You can spend a lot of time on it. I'm not going to get into it, but basically I've picked out a theme that someone already made. Very cool, very minimal, and I can zoom into any city here. This one just happens to be in Oslo, so we'll zoom in, and there's the city. So in order to get a picture of the city, I will click on the download image here, and I'm going to, let's get a little extra, go up to 1,000 pixels each way. That's about right. And then the scale, I looked this up, you're going to want to go 3x if you're using it in a 4K video like this one, and then click download image. And now you have a royalty-free, formatted, very cool image. I couldn't imagine how long it would take to make something like this in Photoshop or GIMP, but I'm going to save this one. And now we have it. So if I go to my folder where I've downloaded it, and I can drag the map in, and we can see that it's very clear, it's ready to go, and it's in the timeline. So how do we make a animation? First, you have to download Glaxnimate if you haven't already. Once you download it, by the way, you can go to Settings, Configure Kdenlive, and then Environment, and then Default Apps, and make sure you have your animation editing set to Glaxnimate here. That's excellent. And if you have it, and this is incredible, in the project bin, you can just create a new and go to Create Animation, and it will literally well, it's going to create a name for it, but it will literally open up Glaxnimate, and you can make your video here. So actually, I guess I needed the I needed the map here in Glaxnimate, and we can zoom in. I'm pressing Control and the scroll wheel on my mouse, and then if I push on the scroll wheel or the third button, I can navigate around, and there it is. So we want to create a flight. Now I remember the flight, I took off about here, went this way and around. So I'm actually just going to draw a Bezier curve. So it'll start here, the curve went this way, this way, this way, maybe here, 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 and then back. So now we have our Bezier curve, and it doesn't quite look right. I think this, the fill here we don't need, so I'm just going to delete that. And then for the path or stroke, it doesn't quite look right in the color black, so we can double click on this color. This is in the timeline, stroke, under path, and choose a color that we like. So let's go with the blue. That's good. And now we can animate it. And this is very easy once you know how to do it. So basically, we have a timeline down here, and the timeline is going to have keyframes. So if I go here, I can add a keyframe. But first, I want to add a animation to the path. And if you click on the path and go to add, you can add these Glaxnimate custom animations. I've seen these in other software. Sometimes there's different ways to do it. This is the way Glaxnimate works, but we'll do a trim path. So we've added the trim path, and if I add a keyframe here, oh, you have to click on this record icon first. So if we click on add a keyframe here, and 100, that's good. And at the beginning, we'll make it 0. Now, if we press play, we should see the animation happening. Beautiful. That's exactly what we want. So you can right click on a keyframe and change the transition so that it's not just linear. You can also go to custom here, which is very easy to change, but let's just keep it basic. The one thing I do want to point out though is that this is the general path, but it looks a little boxy. So if I go to the edit curves here, I can actually click on the points like this one and smooth them out. And we can grab these handles here and affect how smooth it is. So we'll just go through those. This one is nice because it lets each side be unique. Whereas if we choose a point and choose this one, it will be symmetric. So maybe quicker, but not as much flexibility. I think this one could be asymmetric too. This one will make it unique. And then this one, there's a case to use it, this cusp, but it makes it a sharp curve, which is not really appropriate for a drone flight. So we'll just keep it simple, just like that. Now let's play our animation. Okay, it actually, I didn't expect it to do that, but it added the custom edits to the animation. So the way that I'm going to handle that is I'll just go to the first keyframe and delete it. Perfect. Lovely. Okay, so now we have an animation. The animation is looking pretty good. Let's see it. All right, so I would like to add a image of a drone, just some clip art, something like a cartoon, and I'm going to drag that in. So I've downloaded a file earlier, and I'm just dragging it in from the Directory Explorer. So there we go. So add as object. Can't see it, so let's zoom out. And there's my drone. So where did it show up in the timeline? It is above the path. That's good. And now I'm just going to, we don't need to be recording right now, so I'm just going to hit that. Let's play the animation. Okay, so I'm going to press Control and zoom in with the mouse scroll wheel. And then we'll put the drone at the starting point of the path. So I'm going to scale it. If I just grab the corner there and scale, it can skew the perspective there. So I'm just going to hold Control, and with Control it keeps it so that the integrity of the scale stays the same on the X and Y. So let's think that one looks about right. So I'm going to put it there. And the idea is that it will follow the path. So let's hit play. Excellent. Now, one way to do this would be to keyframe in all over the place, but we can save a lot of time. Just under the drone object, we have the transform, and here's the position. So, I mean, of course, if we change any of these, the numbers change, as we can see. But if I put it at the starting point, and I'm just going to click follow path, and we're going to choose our path, which is, well, it's the only path we have. And I know that it's about 90 frames where the path ends, so I'm just going to lower this follow to 90. And there we go. So now let's start it from the beginning. Actually, pretty good. There are a couple things here. I've experimented a few different things, and I haven't really figured out how to get this to work perfectly. Also, too, when you make it a non-linear transition between the moments, it definitely can offset things. But the way I really have been dealing with this in animations is just clean it up a little bit. It's manually. It only takes a minute. So right about there, for example, we can see that the line is getting a little bit ahead, so I'm just going to add a keyframe there. I've got to hit record for this to actually all work. Oop. And I'm going to move the drone right at where the line is. Okay, right there, it looks like the line is getting a little bit ahead. So I'm just going to add a keyframe there and clean that up. So right there, I can see the line is just starting to get ahead. So I'm going to add a keyframe and fix that. And now on this keyframe, I can see that okay, I think we're going to delete one of these. And you can see it's very easy to add keyframes and remove them and to change them. So let's go on that last one. Let's see it from the beginning. Oop. Yeah. So we're going to add a keyframe there. Perfect. That one doesn't quite look right. There we go. Good enough, good enough. I'm very happy with it, so I'm just going to save the file. And when you save a Glaxnimate file, it has this rawr format, and that actually is just a Glaxnimate animation file. And one cool thing about the way Glaxnimate works with Kdenlive is that one cool way the way Glaxnimate works with Kdenlive is that the animation can just be intrinsically placed in the project bin as a Glaxnimate animation file. So no need to render it, which when I first started using Glaxnimate, I actually would render them out and then drag them in as a new clip into Kdenlive. And then after experimenting with it, I realized you do not need to render it out. You can just save it as an animation file, and Kdenlive will import it. So there we go. I'm actually thrilled with it. So let's just take it a little further before we end this tutorial video. I'm going to throw in my actual drone video, and the drone video is of Oslo. So let's get a part that looks really good. So right there, it looks very nice. So this is the clip monitor. So I could edit it in the timeline, but it really is actually a lot easier. Just go into the clip monitor. I'm going to press I to start the animation there, and O to end it there, and then I'm going to drag that into the timeline. Okay, we don't need that anymore. So looking at the project monitor, we can see that could use to add a transform onto the animation that we have. And I'm just going to switch to editing now, or no, effects. And for the transform, let's just scale that down a little bit. And I'm going to add a mask to it. So this rectangular mask is lovely. Actually, even better. As lovely as it is. Let's do a shape. So we'll go with ellipse. I think that looks good. Maybe the feathering effect there is a little bit too much, so we'll just tone that down a little bit. And there we go. So now we have a masked map showing the flight, if we're giving an indication at the start of the video. For the transform though, I am going to here too. That's just the mask. Okay, let's just take the size down a little bit. Okay, and then one more thing that I think can make this look a lot better is to, instead of just having it floating over the video, I like to make it look a little more professional with a color background. So one way to make a color background is in the project bin, we just go to add a color clip, and actually that blue is fine, so let's just add that. And we're going to want to add it over the video, and in front of the actual drone, we'll just throw a transform here. Let's just turn this one off and scale this one up. It's the it should be more like a 9:16 instead of a square, but for the sake of what we're doing, this is fine. So there we go. And now if we, one thing we can do is we can add a transform so that we move this here. And that looks good. One thing I can say though, it's I think it'll look more professional if we add a transparency on that also, just so that it's something like that. And I think that we should have some animation in there too. So one thing we can do is we can add a keyframe here. Let's see when the So you know what, I'm actually going to move this forward a little bit. We'll just have it zoom in. I mean, fade in, and then fade out. And for the keyframe there, we're just going to move it to that spot. So I think in the beginning, I'm going to have it come from the side, and we'll change the way that it moves in, so it's non-linear, so it looks a little bit cool. So it's going to go like this. Comes in, fades in, shows the direction right there, fades out, and now I think we should keyframe having our, oops, maybe we'll put it there, having our blue zone fade back out. Now, I can say that I've also used Glaxnimate to animate a blue zone like this so that it looks way cooler, but let's focus on using the map and using the path right now. Okay, and then one further thing I think we should do here is add a title clip and just say the flight path. It's going to be probably somewhere like there. I'll just insert a track above where we can add that. Okay, and where did it go? Let's make it again. Right about there. Flight. Oh, it was there. Okay, so we add it here. And then one thing that can make it a little bit nice is also maybe have the typewriter effect. Let's see. Way too slow. Let's tone that down. Maybe a little slower. Every 2 frames, every 3 frames. Beautiful. So that's our animation. That's how you can use Glaxnimate to make a path, to make an image follow a path, and it integrates incredibly with Kdenlive. There's other animation apps you can use, like even Blender 2D or Friction. Friction has more options than Glaxnimate, I will say, but just for keeping it simple, I can say that once you learn the skills and how to use Glaxnimate, you can add very custom animations to a video very quickly. And it's open source. It all works so nicely. You never get locked out of the program. I think it's an incredible way to add some professional custom animations to a video. So hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe. This is me helping you learn as I learn. I'm a student in this, and I just am enjoying making these videos again and again. And I've noticed that sometimes I start working on something and then I finally get it, and then I'll actually just try to redo it again to really learn it. So this was a bit of a practice video I just made now. I've done this a few times and I want to be really fluid, so it's okay to just sit down and practice video editing, practice using Glaxnimate, so that when you are actually editing something that's going to be used or going to be posted to social media or YouTube or a video platform, you've got the skills really ready to go and quick to use. So happy editing.